going to return to the text. So our next reader, I said reader in a way that I didn't want to. I'll try again. Our next reader is Sara Larsen, who is from Oakland as well, or maybe from is the wrong word, who lives in Oakland and has for some time. And I will tell you some biographical things about Sara that I recall at this moment, and also maybe some personal things. Maybe one biographical thing is that Sara has written a book called Merry Hell, which came out maybe in 2014? 16 from Atilos Press. And Sara, when I was looking for a quote to read about David here, I immediately saw a citation about hell, and I knew it was supposed to say it for Sara, but of course now as I look for it for Sara, it can't be located. But we could say that Shakespeare has said something. Maria, do you remember offhand a citation about hell from the Merry Wives of Windsor? But yeah, it will. Adultery will. Yeah, and it is the Merry Hell that Sara writes, which moves around the Mediterranean and is situated in the Paris Commune, and is situated around Helen of Troy, and is situated in Oakland shortly after the Occupy movement. And Sara has been through hell and back, and hell has returned, and Sara has been through that. And that is all active in the Merry Hell. Another enigmatic thing I might say about Sara is that she has most recently, in fact, I did not even know about it till a couple of days ago, had a book come out from Roof Press, or is it out really just now for the first time, called That Riot Girl Thing, which documents in various interesting and radical ways Sara's experience with a punk scene around Bikini Kill and a feminist punk movement in Philly and New York as well. Is that accurate? Mostly just Philly. Yeah, in the 1990s. Yeah, and I will also say that Sara works in the game of conservation, maybe in multiple ways, both in her professional life and in her poetic life. Yeah, and with that string of enigmatic and perhaps not very useful comments, I would like to say that it's my great pleasure to welcome Sara here to Carthage.
Thanks so much, Louis. Hey. Hi. So I am going to read from The Riot Girl Thing, which Louis is correct, just came out about probably like 10 days ago. So it's brand new. Here's the cover. My friend Coulter did. It's Sappho rocking out on a guitar. So it's definitely about Riot Girl punk and my experience, and also translation or covers, as we just sort of discovered, of Sappho poems, which may or may not be recognizable. I start the book with a quote from Kathy Acker. Any appearance of the individual heart is a political occurrence. There's a number of Bikini Kill lyrics in the book. I'm not going to point them out, though. I'll just say that they're there. I was a libertine in the anteroom of love. Some remember black earth, unmanageable crux of femme. I dared myself to mark something on papyri. Hunk of flesh, salt meat words rush like a maenad over grave aisles, garbage veils, thick crocus mountains, and gut-sad seas. For space is not easily discerned by mortals. Hey, Saf, take up your lyre. Play something we don't know the words to. Gongola, Athis, Andromeda, Amalthea, Anactoria, and a big violent bruise. Sing, abalone-crowned Kithara, eclipse of state, whose voice hustles us, scarred, shocked, abject, subversive, undersung. We fight this society of death. Even among the radical hoi polloi, I am not pre-approved for credit. Only Greek has a word that means both death and taxes, telos. Rich guys at riots bore, they take their cash away. I and Anactoria don't do what they say. Cashless, we watch cops. We train as street medics. Andromeda notes snipers on Tribune Tower, takes City Hall. Andromeda has a secret text from me. No honey, no bee. The wisdom eaters, deepnosophistae, provide a mansplanation. I say Anactoria. I say Andromeda. There is a near trembling, ugly way to be in a total loss of cognition, the numbness to body. I'm song-like, engaged in gaps where the book is of shadows vermilion. I was not paid, but I understood what I could sweep into my garbage bag, what my sphere will pull together, my mind, my surroundings, my overheards, my books, the way the scene will coalesce in kairotic synergy, the larceny with which I approach my double. Could life be better? I don't know. Anything about recognition. Without a palate, I have a flesh to love. I have a body of AIDS. I have to love my body of AIDS. It is to care for, to love. I have body that endured violence. I wear the body of the women's shelter. I do not want to die. I will not die. With a hand, I am carnal space, feeling for real my gliding, stormy body. With the other hand, I write this to you. How art thou? Is your jaw clenched up? My pantheon smashes American haunt my souledness, baptizing projections. The admin binder hasn't been updated. His ghost in my dream says, release me, and I release him, and I am released. Our practice of rent stare class to elegantly announce my muscle and organ dance of poverty, decay, sex, and death. It's prior to rebirth. Words spread through zines. It's a class issue, to be whatever satiate it is. Silence equals death. My breeches need to hear that you feel this problem in your body too, that you still hold my letter from 1984. Double dare ya. I want to use materials that stunk, things you never hated. It's a carrion pigeon culture. I have an IV, but you never saw it. I'm interested in the gaps, in not punking out. If you want to see, you must DIY, do it yourself. DIY and IV is the riot of a vibration that collaborates with Joan Jett to make the best fucking 7-inch you ever heard. While I was waiting to have the abortion, I was reading Andrea Dworkin, and it felt like hell. How about you? I'm not. I hold on to my Size Queen tape because they were a local band who put out their own tape, and if I lose the tape, I will lose them forever. It's fucking near impossible to write this. I have been dead, except I woke up and I needed money to buy clothes. News of ghosts butter the party's alcohol. That's why all your bullshit is the phenomena of honey. I think I want to take you home and live alone. I just became that way, a double absolute at the fake house, sitting on the floor next to Kathleen with her sports dude knee-highs. It's about being in love. The corset over a Jam t-shirt. If you want to look at my asshole, you're going to have to look all the way in. If you want to see my cunt, you're going to have to see all of it. Turns out you see what you want to see, not my fat ass for real. The ginger blossom convexed into half space that contoured what was out of my turn. I was never the type to say so corpsey. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. I slid out of Rimbaud's vaginal cock, and I wore this red and blue and white t-shirt mini dress with low-top Doc Martens, not the boot kind. My taboos have an empire built around them. My taboos had AIDS and laid their tender, precious body on the white lawn, whited out. How your zine didn't print right, How you couldn't read the words. Like that. Whited the fuck out. On the other hand, I had to confront what I was writing, and I had to confront the sweat of your t-shirted body and your hair matted to your face. My blood and surrealism is not bombastic at core. Layers of reality are nervous, thick. I can sell my body if I wanna. God knows you already sold your mind. My guts locked into an art of readiness. Even when I sat there with that burgundy bottle dripping down the fingernails, stuff comes out when you're not looking. Is that supposed to be doing that? I can't let it come out. My desire and distrust marries people I hardly know. So much so, I filmed the 16mm of where this all started. Silence inside of me. With burgundy hair and an unbuttoned thrifted top, my breasts finally joyful, plump, bold, a bunch of marigolds aiming their revolution who taste. The law was never clear on the class argument of appropriation. Shakespeare, Virgil. Honeysuckle ejaculate that drips, not shoots. It feels fucking blind. The sister was conventionally heterosexually pretty, a kind of Suzanne from the Bangles. Traditional narrative and the rise of the bourgeoisie. French fucking words I can't fucking spell. We rubbed bodies oceanically in memories for vision. My inner dialogue was afraid to be overpowered, and on the other hand, it said rhetorically, yeah. In Memoriam to Identity, my book report stated that if I don't experience it, it must not exist. I never wanted to be the great American writer. I became a secret man. I dived into a place of patriarchal preeminence, but it tasted toxic, contaminated tap water. I thought, what is a man even? I felt sad. I hung up the phone. I became a so-called me, the one with the miscarriages and misfires and blood and burgundy shafts. I looked her right in the face. I saw Kathy. I saw me. Step outside the one-dimensionality of the tribe. It was slaves who were first to write in Greece. The rulers just talked. Shadow casting. No animal fat on my plate. Hecatomb. Dream fluff donuts. How punk fucking rock the door swings open, unocculted of anguish, the light secret dance. In the depths of this nakedness, a nude Betty rejoices just above the water at sky. Mermaids are Marys. The myrrh guarding the bitter, unfathomable spiral. They say she's unreadable, her books unreadable. In every detail, sublime, nude, what the witches might say and what you never hear, what the witches might say. Every gesture, yellow leather roses. In the end, death was short, oxblood. I rush out of the party, I descend the stairs. Space is an indication of my relationship with you. Kissing booth, climbing the chain link gate. I'm a mermaid crawling in the wake of hours. The invisible feeling that flashes you existence. What is that supposed to mean? You came back wrong. Shut up. Blessed be the sluts, like many ass times. She is the composer of scenes and other stories of ego death. I did that once. I lost my grip on purpose and divided into this super sexual body of earth dirt. It was fabulous. From beneath you, I am born in early autumn in the great eastern seaboard. I am moved to Red Rocks and then I am moved to Western lands where I was reinitiated into the living. When color lands, it is yellow. Don't you know I don't belong to you? Yet somehow I seem to persist, true as a weekly income. Such elegant surroundings were not the forte of the pilgrims of the Patco train. I ordered a fried chicken sandwich with mayonnaise and wilted lettuce at the corner of 8th and Market. I don't owe you all nothing. Who was me? I'll not know. A rogue bone structure. A feminist dyke whore. I'm so pretty alien from before I was born. Parlez-vous code fucker zine. That Burger King where the pigeon almost chokes on a fry. What makes me weep? Keith Haring, that masculine fucking chicken sandwich that cries and sighs on the other side of underground journey of Camden to Philly. The vicious art of the Army-Navy store just blocks away. Your side of things, yeah, I wear the olive green t-shirt to bourgeois school. The vicious silence of suburbs, the vicious chirping of the birds, tamed, mounted by the neighbors. I live by the train tracks. No, really. Every day, all day, the Patco train to Philly marks its light across my walls. The way out towards the light, what my father of Philly and my mother of Camden worked so hard to get out of. I want in, but in a different way. I am letter struck. My mother Xeroxes all of my zines for me. What are you afraid of? My schoolmates drive Saabs, wear the limited, girl virus. Fugazi in Chinatown. Ian Mackay threatens to stop the show if dudes up front stomp, elbow, mosh. I mean something here. Not just some girl. I have in my arms zines to give out. Send yours here, point. I'm taking the rough with the smooch. The other place is the Philadelphia Record Exchange. I drop zines from my arms there. Come back to New Jersey on the Patco with 7 inches marked $3.95. I read the innards on the train. The train speeds past the hospital where I was born, Our Lady of Lourdes. Bernadette, who prophesied at Lourdes, her vision was rogue, of healing. She refused to shut the fuck up. Birthright. How does it feel? It feels blind. On the floor of my bedroom, which was covered in Xeroxes from zines that were glued to the wall, I played my punk or indie cassette tapes on the stereo on the floor, had my tapes all neatly aligned and organized in a little white bin next to the stereo, all my faves in front, Bikini Kill, Heavens to Betsy, Team Dresch, Velocity Girl, Tsunami, a number of mixtapes from my friends. Mixtapes always told a story through songs and the order of songs recorded on them. Not that we thought about this much. As the receivers, we didn't. As the givers, yeah, we thought about it. It was practically the whole point of even making a mixtape for someone. The story was usually one or two things. The mixtape tells the story of how the giver feels about the receiver, whether in friendship or love. Or the mixtape tells the story to the receiver of who the giver is, what they're like, what they're into. It reflects them. At some point, I got a mixtape with a yellow piece of paper fitted into the plastic cassette box that would make a squeaky sound when you opened it, from a girl named Maya, who I never met, but who I traded zines with in the mail. Some of my favorite songs of that time period were introduced to me by Maya, like Suki by Unrest, Bury the Hammer by Beat Happening, Gigantic by the Pixies. The mix was titled on the side of the cassette, Punk's Dead and I Killed It, to Sara, Love from Maya, with stars to dot the dots in her name. I'm holding it in my hand right now. I keep it in a drawer in the closet, which I rarely open. When I do open the drawer, I love to see that there are songs on these tapes that never made it to Spotify or YouTube, songs that live and die on cassettes. Wednesday, Size Queen, A. Roger 7. A semi-secret history I know of because I was there. They radiate some residue of a time and a place I can now see only in my mind, and most of all, of a girl who engaged in this time and place, who was someone alive passing through the world. It reminds me of the Juliana Hatfield 3 tape I loved, Become What You. What will be dared in lieu of dull silence? Powers through dead, loads, and radiantly zeroes out. We live beyond our means. We work 9 to 5s. Every girl is named Sara. We live beyond what's dared. Our means made of silence, Andromeda text not for me, or honeybee eyes, pure sleep of sweet bitter. Sweet bitter seems so much like flowering cilantro, or how I break when she sings. What have you taught me? Nothing. Look at what you've taught me. Your world has taught me nothing. Unmanageable wakes me endless hum, the hermetica of awful state written at glass on the top of trees. We hear a sea sparrow. Diamond wind crashes out, paycheck, debt, debt. It's so hard not to understand this. Seriously, buck the fuck up. Open the door. Our Alcatraz pours itself upon you, little sister. Stories are real, not you, not your lashed tongue, not the strap, not every way this is stolen from me, no matter where. The polity has been shot through with vice, with hell. I guess anyone might say that. Recall that we used to gather with bottles of wine and radical pamphlets and fugitive chapbooks. I recall laying on the upended hardwood floor one night, and Jason was dirty drunk, and Lily was laughing on the couch, and I was secretly mad at someone, and someone else puked in the bathroom, and someone else kicked the wall in, and the older women neighbors who have had enough came and screamed at us over Rihanna, and those cheaply made boots because I was unemployed and I couldn't afford shoes. It was the early stages of getting fat. I had no scrubs as my ringtone. Flip phone. I love to gather. There is a gap. Lights strung across the gap. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sarah, and thank you so much, David, for your energy and language. The plan maybe is something like this. All who desire are invited to retire with us to room 170 on this very floor. That is, if you go out here and then make a left, you'll see it you'll see it in front of you. It has transparent walls, or some of them. And in this space, there will be pizza, which you may consume, and maybe some other things to consume too. And we'll hang out there for a little bit, and then David and Sarah, once they recover, can finally tell us what they really think in a series of statements and responses to questions that we might invoke in them. I just want to thank again you all for coming here, and the English department and the Division of Humanities for kindly sponsoring these events and making them possible. I don't think I have anything else to say now. I have two more things to say now. One of them is that I think David and Sarah actually both have books available. David has Holy Ghost available, and Sarah has her newest book available. And if you would like to purchase a copy from them, all you need to do is approach them. Or even in that other room, I'll put them out, and you can approach me if you want. And then, what was the second thing? I had only one thing to say. Yeah. The second thing is that next week, same time, same place, Julie Patton, who is an amazing artist and poet, will be performing here with her accompanist, Paul Van Kuren, and it is not to be missed if you like wonderful and amazing things. Yeah. Mm-hmm.